Part 4. The score sheet. Select the grading charm again, and this time choose a score sheet from the sub-menu that appears. This opens the score sheet for whichever class you have selected in the Class Selector menu. You will immediately recognize this as a score sheet as the students' names are listed alphabetically down the side of the page, followed by grade and assignment information. Note that your students' names are hyperlinks. Clicking on a student name will take you into student pages where you can gather more information about that particular student. Beside the student names is a grade column. This displays the final grade of the student based on the assignments that have been marked up to this point in time. This grade changes as frequently or infrequently as you, the teacher, update the gradebook. This grade column can display up to 3 pieces of information: the grade scale item grade, the percentage, and the points earned over the points possible. A teacher can choose which of these options they want to see on the score sheet by adjusting their display settings. This is done by clicking on the user menu, specifically the teacher's name, in the lower left-hand side of the screen. From the settings menu option, choose display settings. After the grade column, as the teacher creates assignments, he or she will see color-coordinated columns appear with the assignment name at the top. Assignment marks can be viewed and entered directly into the data cells that appear on the score sheet. Again, we will delve into marking a bit later in this training. But first, let's talk about several ways you can adjust your score sheet display to be of most advantage to you. Also, let's take a look at all the detail the score sheet page actually reveals. The score sheet. Personalize the score sheet for informed assessment of student knowledge. When viewing your score sheet, you may notice either little colorful blocks in the various cells of the score sheet, or little colorful circular symbols. Whether you see a little colorful block or a symbol is determined by the sizing option you choose to employ in your gradebook. You can view the score sheet in a small, medium, or large sized view. The small size requires less scrolling and allows you to view more per page, but the medium and large views give you some additional detail. For instance, you can also see the student's picture beside their names. The colorful flags or indicators throughout the score sheet give you at a glance information about whether an assignment is late, missing, incomplete, or collected. You will also see little comment boxes denoting a comment was entered regarding the student's performance on that particular assignment. On the top right-hand side of your score sheet is a gear. There are several options here for you to check out. We will take a look at a few of them right now. Please choose Show Filter. This adds a filter area to your score sheet. You can utilize the filter features on the pages if applicable. For example, your assignment list page will now have a filter option. On the score sheet, the filter bar allows you to search for specific assignments, but it also allows you to select various time frames from which to view assignments. You could choose to see this week's assignment or last month's assignments. There is a plus button on the far right-hand side of the filter. You can add your own filters for categories, due dates, and etc. Also in the gear is an option to show or hide summary. By default, this information is shown. It gives you a banner on the page above the score sheet where you can see details about your class, such as the grade scale and calculation method. If you look closely at the far right-hand side of this banner, you will notice a tiny link that says Show More. Depending on what column you have clicked into on the page determines what information shows up in this Show More area. For example, if you have just entered the score sheet itself and have not yet clicked into any assignment, Show More will give you a few tabs of information, including another quick view of how the final grade for this class is calculated. You can also view details about the grade scale associated with this class. Finally, you will find details about any special codes the district has made available to you for marking final grades. If you click into an assignment marking cell and check out the Show More options, you will find that they vary slightly. You get information about the specific assignment you have selected and can view special codes that can be used on assignments, not just final grades. In the gear on the right-hand side of your score sheet, you also have an option to show summary. If it is already viewable, you can hide it. Showing the summary adds a few rows of data at the top of your score sheet. These rows show you the mean, median, and mode for the class performance on each assignment, as well as in the final grade column. By default, upon first logging into the gradebook and creating assignments, your assignments are listed in chronological order of their due date from the oldest to the newest. Toward the end of the term, you may find it more helpful for the score sheet to display the assignments in the opposite direction, so that new assignments appear closer to the students' names. In your gear, you have an option to show assignments from most or least recent. The system will remember the setting you choose until you decide to change it again. Take a look at your score sheet again. Notice that on the far right-hand side of the score sheet, you have a blue column with an arrow. This column allows you to page over and see the remaining assignments given. This is simple enough to do, but some of you may prefer to just scroll through the assignments. At the bottom of your score sheet, there is a box where you can enter the number of columns you want to see per page. You can increase the columns per page up to 20 and then scroll to the right if you prefer. Teachers, please feel free to play around with the various settings and display options of your gradebook. Find the way you like the score sheet so that it is readily informative to you. It is, after all, your gradebook. Side note, to adjust view size, you again use the display settings accessed through the user menu, the teacher's name in the lower left-hand corner. Creating unified classroom assignments. You can set up assignments at the beginning of a school term or at any time during the term. You create a unified classroom assignment by clicking Create Icon, which looks like a plus sign. By default, the currently selected class is the one the assignment is made available to, but you have the option of adding additional classes while creating the assignment. All assignments require a name, a category, a score type, and a due date. When you select the category, the score type, points, extra points, and weighting options adjust to the default options you set when you set up the category assignment defaults. You can always adjust any of these options because the assignment detail overrides the category default. In this manner, if you had an assignment to set up to count in the final grade, but the activity was a total flop in class, you could go into the assignment and edit the detail to not count in the final grade. Enter the name of your assignment. In this example, you are going to create a Vocabulary 1 assignment. After the title, you may click into a description box. This activates the box and allows you to enter a description of your assignment. Details entered here will be viewable to parents and students, so this is a great communication tool to remind students what their homework assignment is or about the requirements of that research paper they were working on. In this case, you are going to enter that students will be required to write sentences using words from Vocabulary List 1. Note that you do have rich text options here, so you can attach documents or make bold certain instructions you want to make sure students follow. After entering your description, you will choose the category this assignment falls into. Note that fields on the page update based on your selection here. Moving down the left-hand side of this page, you are asked about the assignment type, and you will choose Assignment. Due date details. Next, you are asked about the due date of the assignment. Note that it pre-populates with today as its due date, whatever today may be. You can, of course, pre- or post-date these assignments. Do so by entering the due date or clicking onto the calendar icon and selecting the due date from the calendar that displays. A quick word about due dates. At the end of your term, be extra cautious to make sure you are using the correct due date. If the term has ended, but your school gives you a few extra days to finalize your gradebook, if you forget to set the due date, you could easily tell the system that an assignment that should be in the first 6-week period now counts in the second because the due date is set to occur in the second 6-week period. Publishing details. Next, specify when the assignment will be published and if you will publish scores. Publishing options include to publish immediately, publish on the due date, or X number of days before the assignment is due. You can set a specific date or even choose to never publish. A quick word about using never as your publish option. Never should only be used on assignments that do not count in the final grade. For example, if you give a diagnostic test the first day of school, you don't need any students or parents panicking that a student only knows 30% of the material no one has ever taught him or her before. That information is for you to help you best prepare to help your students. So you might choose to never share that assignment detail. If an assignment counts in the final grade, it must eventually be published. Remember that your students will see assignments in their own dashboard and calendar when you publish them. So if you are planning to give a pop quiz tomorrow and want to go ahead and put the assignment in your gradebook, don't publish that immediately. Doing so would mean your kids see it coming and your pop quiz has become just a quiz. Instead, use the specific date option and choose to publish the day after the quiz. Be creative. Make the gradebook work for you. In the right-hand column of your assignment creation page, you find the default settings we discussed earlier while editing categories. Make any adjustments here that are necessary. Creating assignments for multiple sections at once. A caution. Moving down the page, you will encounter a class/students section. You can utilize this section to choose individual students to assign this assignment if you practice differentiation in your class. You can also choose to make this assignment available to multiple sections that you teach. For example, if you teach 4 sections of algebra, rather than creating this assignment again and again, you can create it one time for all the sections of algebra you teach. While this is a wonderful tool, there is a word of caution we must discuss. If you create an assignment for multiple sections of a course at the same time, when you click the Save button at the bottom of the page, you are creating that assignment with one shared anchor point in the database. This means that the details of the assignment will be shared by all sections. Here's a story to demonstrate a potential risk. An English teacher taught 6 sections of 9th grade English. Because she taught the same material to her various classes throughout the day, she always created her assignment once and selected each section to receive that assignment. One day there was a fire drill in the middle of one of her classes. As the assignment on this particular day was a very simple review activity, the teacher decided to simply delete the assignment from this section of her class. She opened up her gradebook to this assignment and hit delete. In doing so, she deleted this assignment from all of her classes. What should she have done? She should have opened up the assignment details and edited the assignment so it no longer was associated with the section that had the fire drill. This would have been very easy to do. So, the point is, while this is a great tool, teachers do need to exercise a degree of caution when using this feature. A teacher can always duplicate or copy an assignment. In both of these methods of working with assignments, the system builds separate anchor points for each assignment. The teacher can then treat them as individual assignments and not have to worry about shared characteristics. Saving, duplicating, and copying assignments. Finally, at the bottom of the page are a few different save options. You can simply save the assignment. Choosing Save will create the assignment and leave this page open. You can Save and Close the assignment setup, which will create the assignment and close this screen, returning you to whichever page you were working from. Or you can choose to Save and Duplicate. This option will create the assignment you just set up and it will leave you on this same page. However, the title of your assignment will now show the title you originally created plus an underscore and a number following. So for example, when you titled your demo assignment as Vocabulary 1, it will now say Vocabulary 1_1. This is essentially a copy of Vocabulary 1. As a teacher, you may find the duplicating assignments technique especially effective when you are creating repeat assignments. Maybe you do a spelling test every Friday or a journal activity every day. In this example, you gave your students a vocabulary assignment and it is fair to assume that they are going to have several of these. When an assignment is duplicated, other than the slight change to the assignment name, the remainder of the assignment parameters remain the same. Of course, you can edit anything. So very quickly, you can pop into this new title, Vocabulary 1_1, and change it to Vocabulary 2. Your description may work for this assignment, or maybe you need to make a minor tweak. In your case, I would change the number 1 to a 2. In telling your students we are now using Vocabulary List 2. You will leave many setup items the same, but you do want to take a look at the due date. Maybe you always do the assignment on the same day of the week. You can pop into the calendar and choose the next Monday or Thursday or whatever day you use. Publishing details, scoring items, and class and student details all remain the same. You can very quickly create your entire term's vocabulary assignment in a matter of minutes. So a teacher can create an individual assignment. They could create an assignment but make it applicable to more than one section, or they can duplicate an existing assignment. This is not all. There is also a capability to copy assignments. To copy assignments, you would navigate to the class score sheet. Choose the grading charm, select the score sheet. Then choose the gear on the right-hand side of the page. In your gear, you will find an option to copy assignments. Choosing this option will open up a page of the gradebook that is essentially a copy wizard. The Copy Assignments wizard allows a teacher to copy assignments within a class, copy assignments to another class, or even copy assignments from one term or year to the next term or year. Take a look at the wizard page that opens up. The first thing the teacher is asked is what they will be copying from. Choose the term from which you are copying your assignments or assignments. Then choose the course. If it is the end of semester 1 and you want to copy all of your assignments to a new section of this course you will be teaching in semester 2, you will choose to copy from semester 1 and then choose the course you want to copy to. You will then set the information from what you want to copy. You want to copy to semester 2, and then you can choose one or more sections from the drop-down menu that appears. After setting the source information and specifying to what you are copying, you will be given due date copy options. These options include to copy using the existing date, which leave the date the same and is great for copying within a term. Using a relational date, which looks at the week and day an assignment is given in one term and makes it available in the corresponding week and day of the specified term. For example, if you have an assignment 1 year in week 3, day 2, and you copy that assignment to your gradebook sections the following year, while the specific date will be different, your gradebook will show that assignment is due in week 3 on day 2. This is great for copying assignments from term to term or year to year. You can also set a custom date. This gives you a calendar option to then set the date. Finally, you arrive at a list of assignments. There are checkboxes on the left-hand side of the list which allows you to select one, some, or all of your assignments. The last step is to simply click Copy Assignments, which displays in green at the bottom right-hand side of the page. You can easily see how the Copy Assignments functionality will make your gradebook setup pretty quick and easy year after year. You can modify or edit your assignments at any time. If you are on the Unified Classroom dashboard page and the assignment you want to edit happens to be a recent one, you can simply move to the Recent Assignments and hover over the assignment you wish to edit. When the gray buttons appear, choose the Edit pencil, or you can use the grading charm. Choose the assignment list. Again, roll over any assignment and select the pencil to edit. If you happen to be on the score sheet page, you can select the name of the assignment you wish to edit from the score sheet. This opens a grading page which we will talk about later in this training. But from this page, it displays in tiny print, but on the right-hand side you will find an Edit Assignment link. Along with editing an assignment, you will also be able to delete an assignment if you choose. You open the Edit option for any assignment and will find the Delete button on the lower left-hand side of the assignment detail page.